Attica, New York. March 1972. 2 p.m. The maximum security prison yard sits empty under gray sky. Inside, 500 men pack into the prison chapel. The air is thick with body heat and distrust. These are violent offenders. Lifers. Men who've killed. Men who've hurt people. Men who society decided are too dangerous to live among the free. They sit in metal folding chairs arranged in rows. Guards line the walls. Tense. Ready. Because 500 maximum security inmates in one room is always one wrong word away from chaos. They're here because Muhammad Ali is coming. The warden thought it would be good for morale. Thought Ali, fresh off his losses to Joe Frazier and his continuing legal battles, might relate to men who feel trapped. Might give them something to think about besides their sentences. Might remind them they're still human even though the world treats them as less than. Some inmates are excited. Ali is Ali. The greatest. The man who stood up to the government. Who refused the draft. Who lost everything and fought his way back. He's a symbol of resistance. Of refusing to bend. Of fighting systems that try to break you. The younger inmates especially see him as one of them. Someone who understands what it's like to be targeted. To have the system come after you. To face prison time for standing on principle. But others are skeptical. Cynical. They've seen celebrities visit before. Rich famous people who show up for photo ops. Who give speeches about redemption and second chances. Who shake a few hands and leave feeling good about themselves while the inmates go back to their cells with nothing changed. Nothing gained. Just another reminder that the outside world sees them as a performance. A chance to feel charitable. Not as actual people with actual lives that matter. Marcus sits in the third row. 28 years old. Serving 25 to life for armed robbery that went wrong. Shot a store clerk. The man survived, but Marcus's life ended anyway. He's been inside for 6 years. Has 19 more before he's even eligible for parole. He's watching the stage with hard eyes. Waiting to see what Muhammad Ali has to say that could possibly matter to someone like him. Someone who's already thrown away his chance. Someone who society has decided is finished. The door opens. Ali walks in. No entourage. No cameras. Just Ali in a simple dark suit. The room reacts. Some inmates stand. Some applaud. Guards tense. Ali waves. Smiles. That famous smile. But up close, you can see the toll. He's 30 years old but looks older. The Frazier loss aged him. The legal battles wore him down. The constant fighting, in and out of the ring, has cost him something invisible but real. Ali walks to the small stage at the front of the chapel. No podium. No notes. Just him. He looks out at 500 faces. Some hopeful. Some hostile. Some dead inside. Men who've seen too much. Done too much. Lost too much. Men who don't believe in redemption because redemption requires hope, and hope is dangerous in a place like this. Ali speaks. His voice is strong but not loud. Doesn't need to project. The room is silent. I almost sat where you're sitting. The room shifts. That's not how these speeches usually start. Usually it's, I'm honored to be here, or, I know you're going through difficult times. Not this. Not a statement that suggests Ali understands from the inside. Ali continues. 1967. I refused the draft. Refused to fight in Vietnam. Government charged me with draft evasion. Maximum sentence was 5 years. Federal prison. My lawyers told me I'd probably serve 3 if I lost. 3 years in a place like this. And I thought about it every day. Thought about what it would be like. Thought about the cells. The guards. The violence. The time stretching out forever. The knowledge that the world keeps moving while you're frozen in one place. He pauses. I was terrified. Anyone who says they're not afraid of prison is lying. I was scared every single day of that trial. Scared of losing my freedom. Scared of losing who I am. Scared that 3 years inside would break something in me I couldn't get back. Marcus leans forward slightly. This isn't a celebrity speech. This is real. I got lucky, Ali says. My case went to the Supreme Court. They overturned my conviction on a technicality. I walked out a free man. But that easily, that close, I was you. I was looking at the same walls, the same cells, the same years disappearing. The only difference between me and you is timing, is luck, is the Supreme Court deciding to take my case instead of letting me go to prison. He lets that sit. 500 men processing the idea that Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer alive, came within a legal technicality of being an inmate himself. So when people say I don't understand, they're wrong. I don't understand exactly what you're going through. Haven't lived it. Haven't served the time. But I understand the fear. The feeling that your life is out of your control. That other people decide your future. That one decision, one moment, one mistake can end everything you thought you'd be. Marcus feels something crack open in his chest. This man gets it. Actually gets it. Ali says, they told me I'd never box again. After I refused the draft, every state athletic commission suspended my license. Banned me. Said I'd never fight professionally again. I was 25 years old. Prime of my career. The heavyweight champion of the world. And in one day, it was over. They took my title without me losing in the ring. They took my ability to earn money. They took my future. And they felt justified doing it. Felt like they were teaching me a lesson. He walks closer to the edge of the stage. You know what that lesson was? That if you go against the system will crush you. That if you refuse to do what you're told, they'll take everything. That power wins. That resistance is futile. That you should just accept your place and be grateful for whatever scraps they give you. The room is perfectly still. Even the cynical inmates are listening. But here's what they didn't understand. Here's what I learned. They can take your career. They can take your money. They can take your freedom. But they can't take your choice. Can't take your ability to decide who you are. Can't make you someone you're not. I chose to refuse that draft. I chose to accept the consequences. And when they tried to break me, tried to make me regret it, tried to make me beg for forgiveness, I chose to stand on what I believed. That choice, that's mine. They can't take that. He points at the inmates. You made choices too. Some bad choices. Choices that hurt people. Choices that landed you here. I'm not saying those choices don't matter. They do. The people you hurt, they matter. The consequences you're facing, you earned those. I'm not here to tell you you're victims. You're not. You made choices and now you're living with them. The room tenses. This isn't the speech they expected. This isn't, you're all good people who made mistakes. This is harder than that. Ali continues, but here's the thing. Bad choices don't mean you're finished. Don't mean you can't make different choices going forward. You're sitting in here, years ahead of you, thinking your life is over. Thinking you're just doing time until you die. But every single day, you're making choices. How you treat other inmates. How you treat guards. Whether you learn something or learn nothing. Whether you become harder or become wiser. Whether you let this place turn you into something worse or whether you use this time to become something better. Marcus feels tears forming. Wipes them quickly. Can't show weakness here. I know what you're thinking, Ali says. You're thinking, what's the point? I'm never getting out. Or I'm not getting out for 20 years. Or when I get out, nobody's going to hire me. Nobody's going to trust me. I'll just be an ex-con forever. Why work on becoming better when the world already decided I'm worthless? He pauses. Lets the question hang. Because the world is wrong. The world writes people off all the time. Writes off poor people. Black people. People with records. People who made mistakes. The world looks at you and sees nothing but your worst moment. Sees the crime. Sees the sentence. Sees a statistic. Sees a problem to contain. But the world doesn't get to define you. Only you define you. Ali walks to the center of the stage. I was supposed to be finished in 1967. Government took my title. Took my license. Took 3.5 years of my prime. Everyone said I'd never come back. Said I was too old. Said the layoff destroyed me. Said I should just retire and be grateful I didn't go to prison. But I came back. Fought Joe Frazier last year. Lost. Fought my way back. And I'm going to keep fighting until I get my title back. Because what they said about me doesn't matter. What I know about me is what matters. He points at the inmates again. Same for you. What they say about you doesn't matter. What you know about yourself is what matters. And if you don't know anything good about yourself right now, if you look in the mirror and see nothing but your mistakes, then use your time here to learn something different. Learn a trade. Learn to read. Learn to control your anger. Learn something. Because when you get out, whenever that is, you're going to need to be someone different than the person who came in here. And that work, that choice to be different, that starts now. Not when you get out. Now. An inmate in the back stands up. Older man. Maybe 50. Says, voice rough, I got life. No parole. I'm dying in here. What's the point of being better if I never leave? Ollie looks at him. What's your name? Thomas. Thomas, you're right. You might die in here. But you're going to die somewhere. We all are. So the question isn't where you die. The question is who you are when you die. You want to die as the man who did the crime that got you life? That's all you want to be. Or you want to die as the man who did that crime, paid for it, and then spent the rest of his years trying to be worth something. Trying to help other inmates not make your mistakes? Trying to leave this place better than you found it? That choice is yours. Nobody can take that from you. Thomas sits down slowly, thinking. Ollie says, I'm not promising you fairness. Life isn't fair. The justice system isn't fair. You're going to serve time you might not deserve. You're going to face obstacles when you get out. People are going to judge you. Slam doors in your face. Treat you like you're nothing. That's real. That's going to happen. But you don't become better because the world promises to reward you. You become better because it's the only way to live with yourself. Because being better is its own reward. Because looking in the mirror and knowing you're trying, that you're growing, that you're not the same person who made that mistake, that matters more than anything anyone else thinks about you. He's speaking faster now. More passionate. I lost to Joe Frazier. First loss of my career. People said I was finished. Said I should retire. Said I proved I'm not the greatest. But I don't fight for them. I fight for me. I fight because I'm a fighter. That's who I am. And you're not just inmates. You're men. You're fathers. You're sons. You're brothers. You made mistakes. Bad mistakes. Mistakes that hurt people. But you're also capable of being more than your mistakes. Capable of growth. Capable of change. If you choose it. The chapel is electric now. Men who came in cynical are sitting forward. Men who came in hopeless are thinking. Something is shifting in the room. Not salvation. Not redemption. Just possibility. The idea that maybe they're not finished. Maybe there's something to work toward even in here. Ollie says, when I left that courtroom in 1971, when the Supreme Court overturned my conviction, you know what I felt? Relief, yeah. But also responsibility. I got lucky. I had good lawyers. I had money. I had fame. Most people don't. Most people in your position don't get Supreme Court appeals. Don't get second chances. Just get buried by the system and forgotten. So I'm here because I almost was you. And I need you to know that I see you. That you're not forgotten. That your lives matter. That what you do with your time here matters. That the choices you make going forward matter. He looks around the room. Makes eye contact with as many inmates as he can. I'm not better than you. I'm luckier than you. That's different. I made choices that could have destroyed me. Would have destroyed me if I didn't have resources most people don't have. So I don't stand here judging you. I stand here seeing myself. Seeing what I could have been. Seeing men who deserve a chance to be more than their worst moment. An inmate in the front row, young, maybe 22, asks, How do you keep going when everything's against you? Ollie smiles. You wake up every morning and you decide that today, you're going to be a little better than yesterday. Not perfect. Not fixed. Just a little better. Maybe today you read one page of a book. Maybe today you don't start a fight someone's trying to start with you. Maybe today you write a letter to your family telling them you're sorry. Just one small thing. And you do that every day. And after a year, you've done 365 small things. And you're not the same person anymore. That's how. The young inmate nods, writing that down on his hand so he doesn't forget. Ollie says, I'm going to leave soon. Going to walk out of here and you're going to stay. That's not fair. I know it. You know it. But what you do with that knowledge, that's your choice. You can be bitter. Can hate me for having freedom you don't have. Can hate everyone on the outside. Can let that hate eat you alive. Or you can make a different choice. Can decide that just because you're here doesn't mean you're done. Doesn't mean you stop growing. Stop learning. Stop being human. He starts walking toward the door. Then stops. Turns back. One more thing. The people you hurt. The victims of your crimes. They matter. Their pain matters. Your time here doesn't erase what you did. Doesn't make it okay. You need to carry that. Need to remember that your choices had consequences for people who didn't choose anything. But carrying that guilt, that's different than letting it destroy you. You honor those people by becoming someone who wouldn't do that again. By becoming someone who breaks the cycle. Who doesn't create more victims. That's how you make amends. Not by punishing yourself forever. By being better forever. The room is silent. Some inmates are crying openly now. Marcus is one of them. 6 years he's been here. 6 years of believing he's finished. That his life ended the moment he pulled that trigger. But Ollie just told him something different. Told him he can choose who he becomes. That the 19 years ahead of him don't have to be wasted time. Can be growth time. Can be the years he becomes someone worth being. Ollie leaves. The guards escort him out. The inmates sit in silence for a long time. Nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to break whatever just happened. Finally, the warden says they have to return to their cells. They file out slowly. Changed. Not saved. Not fixed. But changed. Seeing possibility where before there was only time. Marcus goes back to his cell. Lies on his bunk. Stares at the ceiling. Thinks about 19 more years. Used to think about it with despair. Now thinks about it with something else. Not hope exactly. But agency. The knowledge that how he spends those 19 years is his choice. He can be bitter or better. Can waste time or use time. Can stay the man who shot someone or become the man who learned from shooting someone. He starts small. The next day, he asks for a GED prep book. Didn't finish high school. Figured it didn't matter since he's never getting out anyway. But maybe it matters for other reasons. Maybe it matters because learning makes you better regardless of where you are. He reads one page. Then another. It's hard. He's rusty. But he keeps going. 3 years later, Marcus gets his GED. Prison ceremony. His mom comes. First time she's visited in years. She cries seeing him in a graduation gown. Even if it's a prison graduation, it's still her son achieving something. Growing. Becoming more than his crime. Marcus starts tutoring other inmates. Helping them study for their GEDs. Becomes known as someone who helps instead of hurts. Starts to see himself differently. Not as Marcus the killer. As Marcus the man who made a terrible mistake and is spending his life trying to be better than that mistake. In 1989, after 23 years inside, Marcus appears before the parole board. They see his record. His GED. His teaching. The letters from guards and inmates talking about his character. They grant parole. Conditional release. First time. Most lifers don't get out first try. But Marcus did. Because he spent 23 years making different choices. Becoming someone different. Marcus is 51 when he walks out. Scared. The world has changed. He's been inside since 1966. Missed the 70s and 80s entirely. But he's not the same person who went in. That person doesn't exist anymore. He's someone else. Someone who made one terrible choice and then spent 23 years making better ones. He gets a job. At-risk youth program. Teaching kids who remind him of himself. Telling them about choices. About consequences. About the difference between one bad decision and a lifetime of bad decisions. Showing them that even the worst mistake doesn't define you if you choose to grow from it. In 2016, Marcus hears Muhammad Ali died. He's 70 years old now. Been free for 27 years. Has helped hundreds of kids avoid the path he took. He thinks about that day in 1972. About Ali telling him he's not finished. About choices mattering. About becoming better. That one speech, that 30 minutes, changed the trajectory of 23 years. Gave him something to work toward. Some way to see himself that wasn't just criminal or lifer or waste. He writes a letter. Sends it to Ali's family. Thanks Ali for seeing him when the world looked away. For treating him like a person who could change instead of a person who was permanently broken. For planting a seed that grew into a different life. He never gets a response. But that's okay. The response was 44 years of living differently. Of being better. Of honoring that moment by becoming the man Ali said he could be. That's response enough. The question isn't whether Muhammad Ali saved Marcus. Ali didn't save anyone. Can't save people. They save themselves. But Ali gave Marcus something crucial. Permission. Permission to believe that growth is possible even in a cage. That time doesn't have to be wasted. That mistakes, even terrible mistakes, don't have to be the end of the story. That who you become matters more than what you did. What mistake are you carrying? What choice do you think ended your story? What do you believe can't be recovered from? Because somewhere, right now, someone is in a worse position than you. Facing longer odds. Carrying heavier guilt. And they're still choosing to grow. Still choosing to be better. Still refusing to let their worst moment define their entire existence. Marcus shot someone. Spent 23 years in prison. And still became someone worth being. What's your excuse?